Welcome back. Today's video, I'm going to be breaking down builds and helping people really get it together when they're beginning or later on as they advance. We have build videos already. We have breakdowns on each character. We have tons of stuff for you guys on the channel you want to check out. But today is specifically smaller details that is going to help you create the right build and make it as best as you possibly can. Okay, that is key to the game and key to your experience. So lock in. First and foremost, thank you for tuning in. And man, I'm excited about the future of this game. I'm deep into the end game, but a lot of the community are just getting started. So I felt like wanting to rewind time a bit and get into a few things as we go forward. Here we go. Now, as you can see, guys, this is not going to be your current loadout when you start the game. So beginners, don't worry, I have you. We're going to talk about it. I just want you to note that no matter what build someone offers, you're not going to get the exact pieces right away. And you might have to grind a ton before you can get everything. As you can see, I have a lot of notorious weapons for each character, but that took over 100 hours of consistent grinding and setting things up. All right, so just note that, and we're not going to talk about what one piece you have to have in the game because I don't think that's the correct way to help people make builds. So just be clear. Okay, but you're going to end up getting legendary gears for sure throughout the story. I've got notorious gears throughout the story, and the important thing to note about these legendary gears is that you want to complement your playstyle. And your playstyle is all about the character you're choosing and then the skill tree that you're going to want to focus on. Okay. Sometimes you can find one piece of gear that you work around and you say, oh, this is the one, this is the only. For example, I made a great build with this weapons talent, which it basically drops live grenades on enemies' feet when you do critical hits. Such a cool feature. And then I worked my whole build and made multiple builds for every character utilizing that. Some characters can do better, which Harley Quinn focuses on grenades. You know, there's some characters who have grenades as a focus on their skill tree more than others. So you want to implement that play style depending on the piece of gear that you picked up that you really like, that you think is the one that's going to be your foundation. So find the foundation is the key number one tip. Find whatever it is. Maybe it's a melee weapon. You say, oh, this is sick. I got the notorious weapon, and this one right here craves enemies. So I'm going to focus on a crave build that can work very well. And so craving will give me more grenades. Then that will be something I'm going to start focusing on. My melee causing more grenades. Then I look for a grenade that also has maybe crave on it, right? And there's a bunch of Bane ones, but for the beginners, you're going to be down here somewhere looking for something that can affect that as well, or something just to buff your play style specifically. Okay, I use the number one talent on these grenades that I love is 10 grenades. Basically, it just gives you 10 grenades. Now it's reduced damage, but that's fine because you have 10 of them, so you can spam them nonstop. Okay, but that is something you have to take into consideration and learn on how to combine these pieces so that they can complement you. Now, let's just say I did pick up the grenades. My melees cause grenades to drop or grenade ammo. Then I put on a grenade that did some amazing stuff. I'm going to also go to my skill tree and work on that. And then when you unlock your actual squad skills, there's also grenade damage buffs as well. So look at right here. Imagine if I put something like that on here. It's not what I recommend right away if that's what you want to play, but the principle of buffing your play style is very important. Okay. And so for example, my heavy weapon focused shark here, if I go to his skill tree, should go ahead and change my skill into the heavy. Okay. Or I can leave it on this one right here. And the reason why is because I want to shield harvest enemies. And that's how I have this set up for myself. And the reason for that is I can pull out the shotgun, shield harvest enemies very quickly. And anytime I'm down bad, as far as I'm out there fighting, doing well, right? Taking enemies out. Everything's going good, but I need some shield harvesting. I'm going to pull out the shotgun and it's going to shield harvest them and I can survive, right? So this is fundamental on what your playstyle is going to be. And there's a lot, and I mean a lot. I would have to make hundreds of videos to show you the combinations on the builds and the possibilities. And I love that about this game. And I'm just getting started with the creativity in different aspects that I actually very much enjoy. Just like this grenade right here, that build video, I keep advertising because I think it's so much fun. And you can create versatile builds around this and use this as a complementary piece to the builds as you go forward. And then there's a bunch of other things you can do to set it up. All right, so that is key. Now I do want to take a moment to talk about each character, and we have build videos about each character, but I also have a breakdown for each character. They have different weapons and different playstyles. The thing I want to note is not every weapon, even if you get the exact same name, it won't have the same talent. The talents are on the bottom. You can see right there where it says every 4 critical hits with this firearm causes instant reload. This is one of my favorites in the game because it's basically non-stop shooting. You're buffing yourself in a special way. Awesome, right? But you got to take note that this can be on many different kinds of weapons. It's not just on my assault rifle. Look at the submachine gun right here. It has it again. And you know, I can go down the list to every weapon type and find that specific talent on there somewhere. Okay. So the point is utilize it to your advantage. Find it for your best playstyle. See, I have it here on the shotguns. Critical hits give me instant reload. So I'm going to keep shooting nonstop shotgun shots, which would be insane. Okay. So that's what you got to understand is, okay, somebody made a great build, but maybe you could change it into your build with your weapon type. You don't have to stick with Boomerang. Switch it out with DeadShot, who also has the exact same setup as well. And so if I look for it in here, I'm going to find it in his assault rifles, probably his handguns. You know, there's different versions. You see right here on his pistol, he has that infinite reload, and then we can just keep going. So just take note of that. The talents are not locked in. Only, for example, the Notorious and the Infamy sets. Those are the ones that are locked in all the time. Okay. When you're watching a video and somebody saying, find this piece, you don't have to always do that. And another trick that you can do is, if the one and the only penguin is here and you have all the weapon that you want specifically, you can go ahead and craft it multiple times until you get the exact setup that you want. And I think that's a good way if you have the resources. Okay, so that's just an example of what you could do to kind of help complement yourself and the play style that you have. All right, so those are the key pillars. Personally, what I like to do is go through the skill tree after. Once I understand what type of play style they have. For example, he loves to do melee. He's very, very aggressive. So you can use a shotgun, for example. The heavy weapon is really good with him. And so I will make a build around that and then focus on changing my talents, all of them. One by one, I'll take my time and go in here. Then when I finalize my build, I would also go to the skills, as far as squad skills, and buff up whatever I feel. Depends on the actual mission as well, because some incursions you can put on different things if you already know what is out there. Okay, so that's just a good way to do it and how to set yourself up. And to buff yourself up, something I talked about in one of my other videos as well is, let's say I'm playing Shark here. He has all Diablo Blaze, which is fire. I am going to take every character and put Diablo Blaze items as well, because I want them to buff me. So for example, I would change my buddy Boom here, put more of the same affliction, I'll make sure everything that he has is affliction, and then I'll go down over to my other characters, which most of them kind of have a similar setup where they all have Diablo Blaze. Why is this? Now we're gonna all do the same affliction, causing extra damage on them and going buck wild. Okay, that is the way to buff yourself and how to make a build for the most part without getting into one specific playstyle and one specific thing. Hope that was helpful. I do have builds that you would love. They're mainly meant to be versatile and unique for you to be able to master your playstyle and to handle it the way you want and change it up as much as you feel. And then also leave comments below about what else you want to see on the channel and what tweaks you make for these type of builds when you go ahead and do them. We appreciate you right here. Go check out the new update that I did talking about the developer weekly information that popped up. We appreciate you. Peace.